He gave it the fertilizer it needed. He cleared out the rocks and the stones. He built a hedge around it to protect it from animals and from other people. So he had gone to great pains to make sure that he got a good crop out of this. And that's what we learned from verse 2. He dug it out. And we can say the same thing about America. I firmly believe, as did the first people who came over to America and who founded this nation, that God gave us this nation as a promised land. People came here looking for the opportunity for religious freedoms. We came here as Christian people from England and France and Denmark and Germany and all over Europe. And although we weren't instructed to take the land like Israel was by force, he provided us the opportunities to come here. He softened the hearts of the kings and rulers in Europe so that they would say, okay, yeah, sure, let's go. Now, lost my thought. Well, although those in power saw it as an economic opportunity, the people who came over across the Atlantic Ocean on that dangerous journey saw it as a freedom opportunity. I don't have to worry about King George coming down on me because he's 4,000 miles and 3 months away by boat. It's not like today when you can get to London in less, well, can't do it now because the Concorde's not running, but you could get, at one time, you could get from New York to London in less than 3 hours, flying on a Concorde. It took them 3 months or more to get from England to America. So they saw this as a great opportunity. And a century after the first men and women came here, King George tried to overcome that. He tried to rule it with a heavy hand. And we had men in our nation that rose up, great pastors in our history like Samuel Cooper and Charles Galloway, who rose up and said, no, you can't do this to us. God gave us these freedoms. You can't do that. And from that, America was born. But now here we are, 236 years later. Where are we? We are in the exact same spot that Israel was at when Isaiah first sang this song. We have become complacent in ourselves. We don't know what we're doing. We've lost track of who God is. And God provided us. He cleared out that land. He provided us with watchmen to stay in those watchtowers. Men like the men I mentioned, among others. One of my favorites is George Whitefield, who was a great pastor during the American Enlightenment, or not Enlightenment, I can't think of the term now. There was a big, when the church rose up in big numbers during the Revolutionary period. They led our nation to God, and every time our nation was led to God in our history, it became stronger. And so God has provided this stuff for us, these opportunities. Today, we have turned ourselves and we have let the world put people up and beat us down and tell us we can't say that. I was reading an article or an email this afternoon that I got earlier this week that it talks about networking, churches networking with the local school districts. And it said, well, we can't go there. God can't be in the schools. And in the next line was like, You're trying to limit God, who's everywhere. God can go wherever He wants. God can do whatever He wants.
Right.
We're the ones who go there for Him, to show people that God is there in that school already. Excuse me. So unfortunately in our history, Satan has risen up briars and thorns amongst the people. So we've been blinded. They've put that blindfold on us, and they've led us down a road that we don't want to follow. God, in this song, speaks out and asks, Jerusalem and men of Judah. You just as easily put in there, America, men and women of America,
Yeah.
men and women of Mount Zion.
Yeah.
What should I do? What should I do with this piece of land that doesn't produce any fruit? And any farmer in their right mind is going to say, well, you know what? You just spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on that land, if not millions, trying to get it ready. In today's economy, you sure as heck aren't going to just let it go to waste. You can't afford to lose that money. But that's exactly what God said He was going to do. I'm going to just flatten it out. I'm going to till it all under. I'm going to let the briars and weeds grow up. I'm going to let the animals traipse through there and eat all of the wild grapes that grew. And I'm not going to worry about it anymore. And to Judah's rose to the occasion and said, yeah, right. They didn't believe it. We are the children of God for Almighty's sake. They said, there's no way God is going to wipe out Judah. We were the kingdom that was right. Look, Israel's already gone. So obviously, we are the chosen ones. What happened to them? Within 70 years, Babylon came in, wiped them out, destroyed the temple, stole everything out of the temple, and spread them out across the land of Babylon. Israel was no more until 1948. And I could easily say it took an act of God to get that to happen. But it was an act of man. Man established Israel as a nation. If God had, I don't think we'd be having the troubles we have now with Israel and their borders. And He would have given them everything that He gave them in the first place, not the tiny little parcel of land.